Hi, welcome back to the channel. Another 20 millions more before I could hit level 59. And of course, I'm just two more steps to accomplishing my second dream of being an elemental expert. So I'm quite happy with that because I gained quite a number of those ascension scrolls recently and then managed to ascend one of the element. So just two more steps and I'm done. Alright, so as usual, busy in the shop, trying to sell all the T9 items in the shop because I really want to have that XP increase. Level 58 to 59 is really faster than expected because of all thanks to the King Caprice event and a more frequent gameplay. Of course, it's still not easy because it still requires a lot of play time. And of course, the XP quantity required as we level up further and further, it just requires more and more before you can level up. I wish basically if the developer could just try to cut that level up progress to a shorter duration, so at least we can see some progression. Like for example, instead like 58 to 59, it takes so long. If they could cut it into 3 pieces, so you can have a 58 to 59 at just 1/3 of the time, that will actually sometimes entice people to work towards that. But apparently it takes like a month to get up to one level, so it's really a long. Unlike in the past when we normally sometimes within a few days we could upgrade to another level. So have been trying to do up a lot of blueprints, as I mentioned in my previous video as well, all thanks to King Caprice, and all these blueprints are now trying to master them, and if there are some also you're allowed to actually release about when you have accomplished a certain numbers of that blueprints being crafted. So that's really good because that means I got more things to craft. At the same time, I'm still not forgetting my role of trying to be a elemental expert. I've really become a spiritual expert earlier. That's my first dream. Second dream is elemental expert, and then third dream will be the helmet expert. So I really hope I could finish that. I just need another probably 60 ascension scrolls, and then we are done with this second dream. And in the previous video, I really unequipped all the heroes to the normal T6 items. So I'm just trying to fit in the missing items when they go for this quest. Otherwise, if you bring all this very expensive T9 items for quest, you're going to pay a lot more to replace them just for the tiny bit of those components. It's totally not worthwhile. So in the event, recent the Tower of Titans, I gained quite a number of gems and as well as money, all thanks to the good T9 items that we received. So it's really glad that although I only ended with level 21, actually lesser than what I expect, because I was thinking of level 24, but not a least bit disappointed because I know that I will not complete it, so I really don't have much expectation. But I'm really glad I cleared that level that gives me the gems, so I'm looking for gems actually, so that was really great. And we have very pocket in a bunch of those T9s, which are really useful, especially when my objective right now is to level up to level 59. I really need a lot of those T9s in the shop to sell them out. If when I run out of them, probably I buy it from the market to see I could sell them to increase the XP, but all depends on price, because if it's too pricey then it's not worthwhile. Then I'll just probably go back to T6 items. Meanwhile, continue to do some crafting of elements and spirits as well, as a mixture, because sometimes the price of the elements and spirits is just too good to give it a miss because of the attractiveness of the profit margin. Like I mentioned, it's always good to craft those T7s instead of T4 or T9. T9 chiseled runestones is about 500,000 a piece, whereas those T7s are selling about 14,000 to about 20,000 a piece. The profit margin for a T7 is roughly about 100,000 or so after you minus off all the so-called raw material, minus off the components. I mean, those you need components to craft, and of course you minus off the discount that you to gain the energy to expedite it. Okay, so if you just look at raw materials versus the actual sales price, sometimes the sales price of the elements and spirits of T7 is about 190 to 210. So you minus away, assuming it's 14,000 to 20,000, you easily earn about 100 over 1,000 from that T7. I would say this amount of profit is as good, if not better, than those T9. T9 runestones are 500,000 a piece as a raw material, and then when you sell it for 740,000 most of the time, you're actually in flat, you're making a 240 profit, but that is assuming the so-called the sales price minus the cost price, but that doesn't really work that way because there are still taxes, and then you're not forgetting the fact that they will actually cost you more of those components before you can craft T9, and not the opportunity cost in terms of the time taken to craft a T9 is so much longer, and if you really want to expedite a T9, it can easily take 2.5 times to 3 times more of that discounted items to do an expedite of a T9 vis-a-vis a T7. That's why I'm saying that if you want to make quick bucks and a good profit margin, T7 will be the way to go, because T7s you can actually expedite them really fast, and at the same time material costs are low, including the components used to craft, and time is shorter. So T7 is always the way to go. T4 definitely not. T4 raw material is too high. Sometimes you make a big loss, because imagine the raw material sometimes can shot up to about 40,000, and you can only sell the T4 white ones, i.e. those are low quality, about 17,000 or so. So it's really not worth it. Of course, I know that T4 are being used as subcomponents for crafting probably T9. That's why the prices are so high. For those people who can craft, because you're paying customer, that would be a great item to craft and then sell just the raw materials, right? For me, I can't, so I'm buying only T7 and occasionally T9. Depends on the price, and also depends on the so-called bounty. So that's the reason why I craft T9. Other than that, I wouldn't want to craft T9. The other fact that I want to mention about crafting choice, you need to know what you want to craft in order to maximize profit, right? So that's the game, basically the basic of this whole game, making money. How to choose which one? Of course, you got to choose one that you have already mastered the blueprint, and one that have already ascended 3 stars. That's why I want to emphasize next is the importance of ascensions to 3 stars. Why I always focus on elements and spirits is because I want to rush up that progress chart in the elements and spirits, so that we can fulfill that elemental expert or the spiritual expert. So end of the day, when we reach there, we got extra bonus to craft even better quality. So that's really important. In addition to the 3 stars that already ascended, this will bring you really high quality, sometimes double, by having twins and whatnot. So it's really good. If you want to focus, you got to focus on elemental and the spirit, the expert. Then you could craft all this to make a quick money, and they are very sellable, easy to sell in the market. Unlike sometimes items tends to take a while, elemental so-called elements and spirits will fly off the shelf almost instantaneously as long as the price is right. Alright, so have a big range of that, so that you know you are able to do so. So that's what I'm trying to say. Ascend them while you can, and then climb the chart. I'm just 2 steps away. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. Goodbye.